Nestled among the rolling hills of rural Ireland stood the Murphy family's farmhouse, a place of warmth, tradition, and countless memories passed down through generations. The Murphy family was known for their unity, weathering life's storms together. But on one fateful winter night, their world would be forever changed. A haunting, sorrowful cry echoed through the cold air, a sound that chilled the blood and stirred ancient fears. It was the mournful wail of the banshee, the spectral harbinger of sorrow, whose cries foretold an inescapable loss. The story begins on an ordinary winter evening. The Murphy family had gathered around the hearth, the flickering flames casting warm shadows across the room. Laughter filled the air as they shared stories, their spirits undampened by the raging storm outside. Yet Grandfather Sean, the family elder, sat unusually silent, his gaze fixed on the fire, as if lost in thought. As the clock struck midnight, the storm's howl was pierced by an otherworldly wail. The sound froze the room, extinguishing the family's laughter. It wasn't the wind. It was something far more unsettling, a haunting, mournful cry that seemed to seep into their very souls. Grandfather Sean's face turned pale as he muttered, "She's come." His words sent a ripple of unease through the family. As the younger members of the family exchanged nervous glances, Grandfather Sean spoke of the legend of the Banshee. She was tied to their bloodline, he explained, and her cry was not a threat, but a solemn warning. It was said her wail heralded the passing of a family member. Sean's voice trembled with a mix of fear and acceptance, for he knew in his heart that her call was meant for him. Later that night, as the family lay in restless silence, the cry returned, louder and closer. Shadows danced along the walls, and the storm seemed to bow to the banshee's mournful power. Outside the frosted window, they glimpsed her figure, a spectral woman cloaked in gray, her long hair swirling in an invisible wind. Her sorrowful eyes glowed faintly as her cries wove through the storm, chilling and hypnotic. As dawn approached, Grandfather Sean gathered his family one last time. His voice was calm, though tinged with melancholy. He spoke of his life's joys, his regrets, and his pride in his family's legacy. He reminded them to cherish one another and to face life's trials with unity and love. As the family embraced him, tears fell silently, knowing the truth of his words. With the first rays of light, the banshee's cry rang out one final time. It was softer now, almost a lament, and carried an air of release. When the family entered Sean's room, they found him resting peacefully, a faint smile gracing his face. Outside, the banshee's form stood atop a distant hill, her figure fading into the golden mist as the village church bell tolled in mourning. Her duty was fulfilled. Though the Murphy family grieved their loss, they took solace in the banshee's presence. They came to understand her not as a figure of fear, but as a guardian, honoring the passage of life. The tale of her cry would echo through the family for generations, reminding them to embrace love, unity, and the fleeting beauty of life.
Ireland is a land of rolling hills, ancient castles, and misty landscapes. But among its rich folklore lies a chilling tale, a figure whose mournful wails are said to foretell death itself. The Banshee, or Bean Sea, meaning woman of the fairy mound, has haunted the Irish imagination for centuries and is one of Ireland's most enduring and terrifying legends. Her eerie scream, the high-pitched wail so piercing, chilling you to the bone, is believed to be a warning of imminent death. Who is this spectral being, and why does she cry out in the dead of night? This is the story of Banshee. The name of Banshee comes from the Old Irish phrase, Bean Sidhe, meaning, fairy woman. The legend dates back to ancient Ireland, tied closely to Celtic mythology. The Banshee is often described as a spirit connected to the Tuatha De Danann, an ancient race of deities. Over time, she became associated with the Sidhe, mystical mounds believed to be portals to the otherworld. Her role: a harbinger of death for noble families, her cries marked the passing of those tied to Ireland's historic clans. Many others believe that the tale of the Banshee evolved from the Irish custom of the lament in the 8th century. Women would sing a sorrowful song at funerals to grieve for the dead. This mournful lament would be heard across the village, indicating that someone had passed away. These funeral singers were called keeners, and the Banshee myth emerged from here. According to Old Irish folklore, a Banshee is usually found near graveyards, fairy rings, or ancient Irish ruins. The Banshee is depicted in many forms. Traditionally, a Banshee is depicted as a floating female spirit with long, flowing hair, who screams throughout the night. She can appear as a beautiful, pale, enchanting woman with long, red, or silver hair, wearing a white or silver dress, and grooming her hair with a silver comb. Sometimes, she has frightening blood-red eyes and can even appear as a headless woman carrying a bowl of blood. But whatever she looked, she was always shrouded in sorrow, her haunting wail echoing across the countryside. While not often seen, the Banshee's shrieks can be heard, usually in the middle of the night, when someone is close to death. Legend says that if seen, the Banshee will vanish into a cloud of mist. Not all Banshees are to be feared. Many believe that every Irish family has its own Banshee, and these spirits watch over the family members in life and death. Some say that the Banshee ensures that the deceased passes safely to the other side. Many believe these Banshees appear as beautiful women, singing a mournful song filled with love and concern for their families. Ancient Irish folklore claimed that the Banshee could only wail for 5 prominent Irish family names: the O'Nells, O'Connors, O'Briens, Kavanaghs, and O'Gradys. The more fearful Banshees appear as frightening old witches who emit howls that shatter glass and torment the living. Some say that these creatures are so filled with hatred that to look at them directly will cause instant death. Their haunting wails are a forewarning that death is looming, so it is no wonder the Banshee instills fear in everyone. The Banshees are an omen and a warning of death but do not actually cause death, however they announce their inevitability. Her presence is marked by a piercing wail, said to chill the very soul of those who hear it. Some claim to see her brushing her hair with a silver comb, a detail linked to an old belief that picking up such a comb invites misfortune. There is no true prevention, for the Banshee serves only as a messenger. In rural Ireland, the Banshee was both feared and respected. Upon hearing her cry, families would light candles and pray for the soul of the one she mourned. Rituals such as keening, traditional mourning songs, were seen as echoes of her cries, a way for the living to mirror the otherworld's lament. Tales of the Banshee have been passed down through generations of Irish families for centuries. There are hundreds of reports of sightings of this spooky spirit. With every story, the legend of the Banshee has grown stronger and more elaborate. One of the most famous Banshee tales is tied to the O'Brien clan. In the 19th century, during the death of a prominent family member, witnesses reported hearing an unearthly wail followed by the sight of a spectral figure disappearing into the nearby woods. Such stories continue to pass down through generations, reinforcing her place in Irish folklore. In the modern day, the enchanting Irish Banshee can be found across Irish literature, art, music, and jewelry. Irish and Celtic jewelry can be a beautiful and personal connection to Ireland's rich heritage. The Banshee's legacy endures in modern times, not only in Ireland but globally. From literature to films, she is a symbol of grief, loss, and inevitability. Her cries have inspired countless horror stories and remain a chilling metaphor for the certainty of death. The Wailing Banshee is more than a ghost story, she is a cultural symbol of mourning and transition. Whether as a reminder of life's fragility or a figure of dread, her cries continue to echo through the ages, a testament to the enduring power of Irish folklore.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.